So bright.
Oh, cool. I love angles. I don't know what's going on with the babangs today. Did any of you guys ever watch Sunny with a Chance? I'm pretty sure that's where it's from, with the babangs, where they would like clip bangs. It has been a hot minute since I've told you guys a story of my own. Like a long, dramatic, ridiculous story. It's been a while. This is a story I've been wanting to save. So I have a scary story for you guys, and this is an actual scary story. This is a scary story time that happened to me 5 years ago. We're actually in the anniversary month of this event. This happened pretty much throughout all of the month of October. It scarred me for life, and I'm never gonna love, okay, I love the month of October, I love Halloween, but this year was not okay. So let's take this back to when I was 17 years old. I had just gotten a brand new car, so let's keep that in mind. My car was my child. I had a cute little Jeep Patriot. It was like a little box. It was a little toaster that I drove. I love driving that toaster. But I'm not joking when I say this car was my child. But that's where we're gonna begin this story, because this poor car struggled a lot throughout the story. God, this happened so long ago, and like I haven't told this story in so long. I'm just like, whew, okay. I like don't even know where to begin. I just want to like just tell you the whole thing. But okay. Calm down, Courtney. So I was at one of my best friends' going away parties because she was moving out of Arizona to another state. Wow, I forgot that I tell a lot of really unimportant details, so this is gonna be an exciting video. So I was at this going away party, and I get a phone call from my brother, and he's like whispering on the phone. He was like, I think somebody's in the house. I'm very protective when it comes to my siblings. I'm very protective when it comes to my family and my friends, and if somebody is in my fucking house with my two little brothers in here, like I will kill them. Okay, I won't kill them, but whatever. So I literally started sprinting. So we were outside like by this fire pit, and I started sprinting inside through this girl's house. I don't even know, because we had the party at another girl's house that like I wasn't really friends with, but I like sprinted through this random person's house into the bedroom where all of my stuff was, and I grabbed my purse and like I grabbed my car keys. Everybody's just like, are you okay? So my best friend Anna was like, what's going on? Like, are you okay? And I was like, somebody broke into my house, and it's actually this house right here. That's comforting. Fuck. So I was probably 10 to 15 minutes away, and I probably got home in 5 to 10 minutes because I was going really fast. I was panicking the whole time I was driving home because I was like, my brothers are literally in the fucking house and somebody broke into my house. So I called my brother when I'm about halfway home, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, why do you think somebody's in the house? Did you see somebody? Did something happen to you? So my little brother and my stepbrother were in this room, because this used to be their bedroom. This story keeps getting scarier. I love being in the midst of the horror story. So they were both in their room, and they were playing video games, and one of my brothers took off his headphones or whatever the fuck, and he heard something upstairs, and he was like, do you hear that? So my other brother took off his headphones, and he was like, no, dude, you're going crazy. I don't hear anything. So my brother was like, all right, whatever. So they kept playing their video game, and then maybe a couple minutes later, my other brother, my stepbrother, heard the noise, and he was like, holy shit, there are footsteps upstairs. So they said that they could literally hear somebody walking right above them, and right above my bedroom, which used to be their bedroom, is my little sister's room, and then it's pretty much just the hallway. So you can hear everything. You can hear, if somebody sneezes upstairs, you hear that shit from downstairs. So they were like, you could so clearly hear the creaking and the footsteps, and like there were people upstairs. So I'm on the phone with him, and I was like, get the fuck out of the house. And he was like, no, we're going. Like, we opened the garage to try to scare them, because maybe if they heard the garage open, they would run. He's like, we got our bikes and we're heading to Walgreens, which is just, a 2-minute bike ride from our house. And he goes, but we ordered a pizza, so we have to go back. I was like, are you fucking serious? I was like, you think somebody broke into our house? You think somebody is inside of our home? A person that we do not know is inside of our house, but you want to go back because you ordered a fucking pizza? So he's like, we're just gonna go back, and we'll wait out front for the pizza guy to get there, and then we'll take the pizza, whatever. So my brother literally ends up grabbing the pizza, and they sit in the fucking garage eating the pizza while there was supposedly somebody like who broke into my house. So I finally get home, and I'm with my friend Anna, and we scope out the entire house, which I always thought I was a detective, but this day I proved it. I'm just kidding. I don't even think I went inside. I was a pussy. So after we made sure that there was nobody in the house, I was like, are you sure that somebody was in here? Like, are you positive? My brother was like, yes, I swear to God, we both heard the footsteps upstairs. So I was like, we're not gonna stay here. We'll go back to my mom's house, because this is my dad's house. So I told them to go grab their shit, grab whatever they needed, and then we were gonna go stay at my mom's house until my dad was home to figure out what the fuck was going on. My dad, by the way, was not answering his phone, and my parents always have their phones. They always answer their phones. Like, they're always checking in, they're always texting us, always calling us. My dad butt dials on the daily, which I don't know how you do that on an iPhone, and they were not answering. Come on, mom and dad. Nobody gave a shit about us this night. They were just like, take them with the house. So as my brothers were inside, me and my friend Anna were outside, and we were just waiting for them, and this car came around the corner, God, the air conditioning just turned on and I shit my pants because it sounds like a bang when the air conditioning turns on. What was I saying? So Anne and I were outside and this car just turns around the corner really slowly and then they speed off down the street. And I was like, well, that was fucking weird. But I mean, we didn't really think anything of it. I just figured it was somebody who was like turning the corner and then they drove away. I don't know. But then they did it again. So, I mean, within the span of 2 minutes, they had gone around my entire block, like my entire neighborhood, and drove around again. And they would drive around the corner really slow, and then they would just speed off down the street. So my brother and my stepbrother come back outside. I'm like trying to figure out how I can like show you guys the scenario. My brother and my stepbrother came outside, and we were all standing in my driveway, and then here's the street, and then my car was parked over here. Me and Anna were standing in the driveway waiting for them, and they came outside, and the car fucking came around a third time. So as they were turning the corner really slow, I went and stood in front of the car because I thought I was gonna be a cop at this point. Like I thought I was like the shit. I'm not scary, I'm not intimidating. So I'm standing in front of this car and they're screaming at me. I know it was 2 guys at least, but I think they had people in the back seat. I can't quite remember because it was like 5 years ago, but I know for a fact there was at least 2 people in the car. So these 2 guys are screaming at me to move. And I was like, no, what are you guys doing? I was like, you're freaking us out. Like, what are you doing? Are you lost? So they're revving their engine at me like they're gonna fucking run me over. And so I kept telling them, I was like, I'm not moving until you tell me what you're doing. Are you gonna run me over? I was like, go ahead, try to run me over. I'm so dumb. I was so stupid. So they kept revving their engine at me and I kept standing in front of their car. I mean, they probably could have gone around me, but I kept telling them like, you're freaking us out. Just stop driving around the neighborhood. Like, and at this point, we kind of all assumed that maybe they were the people who were trying to break into my house, if anybody even had, and maybe they were just trying to scope out to see when we left. I don't know. This is all just a theory that I have. I mean, it wasn't like 5 minutes of me standing in front of this car. It was probably a solid minute of me going back and forth, yelling at these guys, telling them to run me over. And then both of the guys got out of the car, and one of them had a crowbar, and he said, get out of the way or I will fucking kill you. So at this point, I'm shitting my pants. I start fucking sobbing because when I was telling him to run me over, I was not being serious. I was trying to be ballsy. And then when he actually threatens to kill me, that's when shit gets real. So I moved out of the way of the car, obviously, and they get in and they fucking just speed off. And I try to remember the plate and my friend's screaming the license plate behind me and I'm screaming at her because I can't remember it while she's screaming it at me, and then we lose the license plate. We almost had it, but we didn't get it. But I'm like panicking. And as this guy is like saying, I'm gonna kill you and shit, and they're getting out of their cars, my brothers are like crying. My little brother's like, Courtney, move, don't be a hero. And my brother has a broken arm. Like we're the least intimidating group of people you would have ever seen in your life. It was like 2 scrawny little white bitches and then 2 scrawny little white boys. And apparently they had to threaten to kill me. So I move out of the way, I'm crying, and I call the police because I thought I was gonna die that night. So the police get there and I call my older sister. My older sister gets there. I like curl into her arms crying. So I was like, they said they were gonna kill me with a crowbar. So we tell the police what happened. We give him what we have of the license plate, which failed miserably. Basically, we had no progress. We got nothing done. The cop was like, okay, well, I mean, maybe you should leave your house for now, and then when your parents get home, come home, but as for now, I can't do anything for you. He was like, do you know what they look like? I'm like, no. He's like, do you know what car they had? I'm like, no. Like I was useless. So we ended up going to my mom's house for a little bit, and then my brothers went back to my dad's afterwards, but we're gonna fast forward a little bit. So my bedroom used to be upstairs in this house, and from my bedroom, I had 3 windows where I could see into the front yard. So one day, I am laying in my bed and I'm pretty sure I'm like about to go to sleep, and I hear a really loud bang. So I look out the window just naturally because the bang came from outside. I see a car maybe this far away from my car just smashing my hood, and so I started freaking out, and so I run out and I'm like screaming out for my dad, and I'm like, somebody in the house, and of course my fucking dad isn't home. So I'm calling my dad and I'm like, they came back, like they came back and they're beating my car, they're beating the shit out of my poor car. So my dad like pulls in really quickly and he's like, can you guys hear that? I don't know what that is, but it keeps happening and I don't like it. It's louder when you're out in the living room too, and it just sounds like a child laughing at you. Okay. Anyways, so my dad pulls in really fast and he was like, which way did they go? So I told him, and my dad like speeds away trying to find this fucking ghost car. And he obviously didn't find them. He came home. We called the police again to add to my report of uselessness. And basically they dinged my car. I mean, like, it sucked and it was stupid, but it was just a dent in my windshield. Not my windshield. It was a dent in the hood of my car. Like an easily fixable dent. They scratched some of the paint off, but like, I'll survive. So then fast forward maybe a couple days, a week at the most later, and I'm laying in my room, again, about to go to sleep, and I hear a really loud bang. So I look out my window and I see this fucking car, and I start screaming again at my dad. And he tries to go out, like he gets in his car and he tries to drive after these people, but he lost him. I swear to God, these people don't exist. And this time, they bashed in my rearview mirror, like completely shattered the thing. So I didn't have a rearview mirror. Can I say rear view mirror? Yeah, I didn't have a rear view mirror for a while. So now I have a dent in my windshield and a broken rear view mirror and a broken heart because I loved this car and I was like, this poor car is just getting a beating. I was like curious too for the longest time because I'm like, I have so many siblings and we all have cars. Like, I don't know how they just targeted mine out of everybody else's because there's like 4 cars on our street. I have a huge family. But I was like, oh yeah, wait, they saw my car the night this went down. The night I threatened them, or didn't threaten them, but the night I got threatened. And then we move on to Halloween. So it had been maybe 2 weeks since everything had happened and I was like, maybe finally they're done. Maybe they just needed to get a little bang, a little pow in, and now they're complete. Like they don't feel the need to come back anymore. It's wrong. I'm out of breath. Jesus. So it was Halloween. We kind of have a tradition of just sitting outside in chairs and having a bucket of candy. You know, we don't really wait for the doorbell to ring, anything like that. We like to be outside and like see everybody and see our neighbors, and we don't give a shit about our neighbors. It was just better than sitting inside for a night, you know? So we literally had just gone inside. We were sitting outside for probably an hour and a half to 2 hours, and we literally just went inside, and I hear the loudest crash and bang, and I hear all of these fucking noises. I look out of my window and I see 2 or 3 guys running away with masks and fucking orange like Halloween buckets, just like sprinting down the street. And my dad wasn't home. It was literally just me and my sister. So I called my dad. I called the police again. My dad gets there before the police, obviously, because these police officers don't give a shit about my car because it's not like we can even find these people anyways. So these motherfuckers bashed in both of my taillights. They bashed in my back window, and they threw rocks at my car. So I had scratches all over my car. Literally, my dad just took a broom. Like, my dad was so over it at this point. My dad took a broom and was just like clearing out the back window because they shattered it completely, but there was still glass in it. So my dad was just trying to get all of it out. He's breaking the taillights even more to get all the shit out. Like, I did nothing to these people. I literally asked them what they were doing because they were freaking us out because they're driving around my neighborhood 400 times. So we just thought somebody broke into our house. I asked them what they're doing. They come back and they completely destroy my poor little baby Jeep. So the cop gets there and he's like, well, we can brush for fingerprints, but I mean, can't guarantee anything. But like, I'm so sad over it. I'm so sad right now. And my camera's gonna die. God, this is a horrible story. But basically that was the end of it. I couldn't drive the car in the condition that it was in, so we had to take it in. So I'm sure that when they came back, they probably came back a 4th or a 5th time. They didn't see my car. They were like, yeah, we ran her out of town. But little did they know, that's how my new baby came into the picture. But I got the car back after maybe 5 months, but then by the time I got the car back, it was slowly dying anyways. So we had to get rid of that car, and I got my new car, my new child that's out there in the driveway right now. I'm hoping it doesn't get vandalized tonight. I feel like I'm jinxing myself. Or maybe they realized that they did enough damage, and if they came back to do fucking more, they'd probably get caught that time. Even though they probably wouldn't. But I hate them. I don't know who you people are. I don't know what you wanted from me. I'm sorry that I asked you what you were doing, and I'm sorry that I told you to run me over. But fuck you. But I'm not joking when I say I was scarred I was scarred for months after that happened. Every time I would hear something, I would look out my window. I would stare out my window most of the time because literally I would just be like laying in my room like an innocent little bean, and I'd hear a huge and I would look out the window and see these assholes just hitting my car or smashing my car. And if they had broken in the first time, what was stopping them from maybe breaking in again if they knew I was home alone? Or I don't even like to think about it because I am home alone. But I was so scared for the longest time. I'm pretty sure I looked and stared out my window every single night until I fucking moved out. So I got an apartment with my sister when I was 18, and then I moved back in with my mom, and then I moved back in with my dad. Wow, I've had an eventful couple of years. But I was so scared to do anything. I was scared to sleep. I was scared to leave my car out on the street. I got to park in the garage though, so that was a perk I got out of everything. Just threaten a couple people and you get a spot in the garage. Or not threaten them. Why do I keep saying I threaten them? I didn't do shit, I'm a pussy. But yeah, that is my story. I can't tell if I feel scared right now or if I feel like, whew, because I finally told you guys that story. I miss telling stories like this, and I always plan on making these videos, but then something else comes up or I have another idea that I want to just get out of the way first, and then I just push these to the back burner. But not this time. Happy anniversary. beating the shit out of my car people. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you're having an amazing October, and I hope you guys like all of the kind of spooky videos that I'm doing. Let me know what you guys want to see for the month of November. It's not going to be as spooky, but I can try to stick to some of the videos I've been trying out. Like, I feel like I'm doing a couple new things this month, so let me know if you guys want to keep seeing them. But anyways, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. All right, my dudes. See ya. Well, it's upside down. Not for you, for me. Ooh, who is she? Damn. Ooh, focus. Ooh, bye.